Hey everybody, decided to start over on my Last Chance for Victory campaign, just because I was learning everything. There's some things that I didn't like the way I was handling and different things. So what we'll do here is start all over. I've gotten all my beginning orders based on the scenario booklet written down in my orders. I went and edited the Brigade Series Excel tracker or aid available in Board Game Geek to allow me to use if further line of battle. I have this one set up for my Gettysburg battle. I will not be using the lost charts, though I was starting to put them in for the Union, and it can be done pretty easily. Just go in and change the numbers around for the regiments, and instead of brigades, you don't need to fill out the last six numbers. Just put the break limit rate on the first number and the total strength on the second number, and it'll still work fine. You put X's in there, and he gets wrecked, and then he's gone. Um, and that'll show up down here to mirror that has a wreck brigade, which doesn't really come into play for LOB, but actually it does for victory points and stuff, I believe. If not, it's a good visual. At least with this, you've got some way of seeing it. But I'm not going to really use them. I didn't change combat tables over because I have all my paper uh, paper charts and everything sitting here on the desk with me. And Vassal has them in there too. They're just a little hard on my eyes sometimes, so I chose to just go with my paper ones. And eventually, maybe I'll modify the 8 a little bit. The other things I did was I changed it to an XLSM and added macros so the turn counter moves. You can follow the little X and it'll automatically do time. Boom. And it'll actually change the date, but I wasn't smart enough to be able to get it to change and keep a date format, so I had to list them down here and use an index. I could get everything to work in Visual Basic, but I couldn't get it to change the date back here, so I had to work my way around that. Maybe eventually I'll figure that out and fix that up. But I can also put in the for the turn track. As you see, it's red and white right now for the day hours. I put in, say, the starting turn is 12 o'clock midnight. It's dark. Um, and let's see, around 4 in the morning it starts getting lighter. 4:15, a little later still, and 4:30 we go in the daylight. I try to stay with the game turn, so turn track on that one. So 4:30, yeah, 4:30 is first daylight when there. 4:36 was actually sunrise. So I try to stick with these colors as much as possible. They're not perfect, but it's good. And that way I don't have to keep clicking back and forth on this, and I don't lose track of where I'm at on the turns. I put a sequence of play and everything in here, but you're just flicking back and forth different windows and everything. And I'd rather just, I think, keep this Excel off of my second screen and jump back and forth to that. So there's the things I've done. I'll worry about all this later. I'll fix all that up. Thought it was pretty cool fixing that up. Anyway, so according to the scenario, and I'm doing the traditional start. I don't mind doing the extra few turns of movement to set things up. I like playing around with it. I have the orders here where the three regiments are out, and the initial orders for them is they must deploy to Her Ridge Road. Look the restrictions up in the scenario booklet or the rules booklet for LCV. And then Pegram got to move to a certain hex and then deploy to bombard the Union troops on McPherson's Ridge. Um, I forgot to modify that a little bit. We don't have delays in this one. All right. And the other thing is midnight. There will be a pop up telling you it is a recovery turn, midnight turn only, right here. And the if the dates are all entered correctly here, and the times are all entered correctly here, then it will also tell you when your last game turn is if you ever enter all this right. And if for some reason the Union got to go first, you just click Union first here, and you see the colors change around. So that's pretty adaptable. Um, and I'm getting carried away again. Union orders. Union orders. Buford. First cav is to delay the enemy approach as long as possible until the First Corps infantry arrives while controlling its losses. First cast defensive area includes all areas east of Willoughby Run, so they can move around within that range. Callis Battery can be posted by Reynolds, Buford, Gamble, and Calif. Reynolds is acting Army Commander. Reynolds cannot issue orders until the OOA releases him. Wadsworth cannot use the initiative for any purpose until Reynolds gives him an order. 1-1 must move in right road column to N928 and await further orders. The division and Hall's battery must remain in their road column along the Emmitsburg Road until they obtain new orders. Iron 1-1 must follow the 2-1-1 road column. They cannot, however, move, including formation change, until released. And the 19th Indiana of the Iron 1-1 is on picket duty, and it cannot move until its brigade marches by. When the lead unit of the brigade passes its location, the regiment must enter its place before the 24th Michigan in the column. Those are all out of the scenario booklet for the startup. They're all active, and all that's loading up Vassal was all automatically put in there. You can't see shit on this map here. Well, you can. You can kind of see where the Union's set up down here, and we got very few Confederate units hiding right in around here. So what we got here is Pegram's Battery coming up. They have to move to go back to my Confederate orders page. They got to move to N1918, which is right here between the two fingers of Hers Ridge, and then they're deployed along Hers Ridge to bombard the enemy troops over here. And the three infantry regiments have got to advance to Her Ridge Road around here, and once their brigades come up and are deployed, they will execute the 2-1C reconnaissance force. Um, these guys are anything east of Willoughby's Run, and this is Willoughby's Run up here. So I can actually advance any of these units up to and including, actually I could bring them all the way up here if I wanted to. It will not let me get aggressive and go up to Hers Ridge. Well, that's alright. In playing this my first time, I found that if I stuck the cavalry up on this ridge, they got pounded by the artillery. So we may not want to do that. Um, so anyway, what I'm planning on doing, and hopefully I'll see this one through this time and not screw it up enough to where I think I need to start all over again. Actually, I wasn't really messing up too much. The reason I wanted to start all over again is I wanted to implement this turn and orders better um, and get the sequence of play working. I was finding myself not using the sequence of play and skipping things and jumping through and saying, "Damn, I should have done that." And it's just so much easier to have everything here and keep track of things. Losing track of time, etc. So I just decided to restart it. Anyway, enough rambling. So, highly recommend this series. I even like the Brigade series. I mean, so that one's good in its own right. I'll play some of those also. Those I'll probably use the complete thing here. I do keep track of losses in this. I do not believe they're in the original Vassal module, but I do have. I did make up the Union and Confederate losses because it's so much easier to come in here and keep track of what your units look like. Yes, I do put their numbers on their counters, but still, it's the visual up here is so much better. And I did the same for the Confederate losses, and I also went and scanned in and put in all my orders of appearance or order of arrival, and a little put a little highlighter in there too, so I could kind of keep track of my time. So that's it. All ready to play. Um, like I said, I do enjoy this series, and I love the Civil War. So kind of custom fit for me. I was watching some replays of some of the other Civil Wars, even the regimental series, and I didn't like what I saw as much as this one. They just the one I saw playing in Gettysburg, the Confederates seemed to be able to roll right over the Union, which didn't look fun to me at all because they were always in danger of rolling right over the Union, but due to hesitation and command difficulties, and yes, good fighting by the Union also, but there was a lot of timely things that would not have happened had they stayed aggressive and Lee first gotten his head out of his butt and decided it was time to do something. And when he finally did, his command didn't really follow through as well as they should have and coordinate as well as they should have. And yes, he made his share of mistakes. But I think this game um, shows that very well in the order system, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much. So anyway, that's the SITREP beginning of the game. We're starting at 8:30 on July 1st, 1863. And I will do an update probably around 10 or 11 o'clock turn, and it'll probably be a day or two because it's getting late already tonight, and I got work. So don't we all? Thanks again, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you very much.